What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank, and I was watching some conservative videos today, and they were talking about why Joe Rogan stand-up career is failing, why all the conservative comedians, why it doesn't work out, why there's no big conservative comedian who can never make it. Like it's a non-starter, and they're a little frustrated. And they think they're being blackballed by the industry because they're conservative, because of their political views and whatnot. And I have to say, that's not it. The issue is conservative comedy is not funny. That's what it is. It's not funny at all. And the reason why it's not funny because it's not based in reality or common sense. What conservative comedy is based off is insecurities and the lies that conservative white racist Americans tell themselves to get by every day. Right? That's the issue. So when telling a joke, all you're doing is joking using the foundation of the bullshit you guys tell yourselves every day, and then the joke it doesn't hit because there's nothing funny. There's no funny notes in it because that requires truth. Because what makes a comedian effective is someone who can tell the truth that would normally offend a massive group of people, but say it and deliver it in such a way that it disarms the individual, right? In order for you to deliver a message that they can receive without being so defensive. Because people jump right into their defensive mode and they don't receive messages. That's a lot of the problems that we have in society, is that people are so emotionally reactive to outside stimuli, meaning anything happening outside of your physical body around you. You're so emotional and you react so quickly, you tend to do things that you really didn't have to do. Right? And you reacted and gave up information you didn't have to give up. Right? Because you moved, react. You delivered data that I'm going to react this way based on you reacting this way, whether you said something or did something. Right? Hence, in a boxing match, feints are very important because it tells one boxer that the other boxer, if I threaten to do this with my left hand, you're going to move this way with your body. So later on, I can pretend like I'm going to do something with this left hand, knowing that you're going to do something with your body. And when you do that thing, I'm going to meet you there with my other hand to catch you because you didn't see me set that trap. Right? So it's important that we control, how we act based off outside stimuli. Because if it's not going to kill you, all right, you really don't have to react to it. You don't have to tell anything from the outside what's happening on the inside, right? But a comedian knows how to tell the truth, right? But say it in such a way that it disarms the person that needs to hear it. That's what makes comedians so special. They're supposed to be able to say the thing that everybody knows that's true, right? Underneath the lies and the deceptions that we tell ourselves as individuals and as groups, right? To get by every day, right? Because the brain is an amazing piece of equipment, and we spend a lot of time in denial as human beings in totality. We all do. It's just that some people, some societies live in thicker layers of denial, along with fantasy, all kind of lies and mis and disinformation, that when they come up to the real surface, they can't even breathe because it was the first time they ever inhaled oxygen and it's too much for them. You understand? There's people who really are not living in reality. Right? So those people that do tell the truth, those people that do speak truth to power and they do say it, and they know how to say it in a charismatic way, to disarm the person that need to hear it. That's funny because it taps into the truth. To be a comedian, to be able to articulate a tough point, right? They need to get to its, intended target without being blocked by denial, filibuster, disregarding all that. It's hard to deliver messages. Right? So a comedian delivers a message that's true, and people laugh because they, on the inside, they're saying, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do that too. That's what makes it funny, and it's relatable. But a bunch of conservative white folks sitting around telling jokes about the fantasies that they want to believe, shit ain't funny. Because there's no truth involved. So, because laughter is one of the most natural, one of the most powerful emotions, one of the most blessed emotions we can possibly have. Laughter, that emotion, those chemical reactions that, a higher power has given us, that's one of the most precious things. And we don't do it unless it's worth it. Those chemicals don't get released unless the proper key has been inserted. All right? And in order to do that, there has to be something real behind it. Right? So your denials, your insecurities, those things are not going to trigger those chemical reactions to create a laughing effect. That's why none of these guys are funny. And no amount of pouting and wishing that people will find your conservative, right-wing, racist, living in an alternative universe, having your alternative facts, living in your truth, what you call free thinking, that thing that you call free thinking, those things don't equate to anything funny because it's not something that's real. You understand? So y'all got to understand that's why, and nature will tell you the truth. I'm not making it up. Where are the conservative comedians? What happens when they go conservative? They become unfunny because nothing that they say makes sense. And nothing that they say is based in reality or truth. It's all based in their insecurities, their jealousies, their evil, devilish tendencies, and their fantasies. That's it. So none of that's funny. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
So there's a number of reasons why conservatives are just not very successful at being funny. First and foremost, they punch down. Main rule in comedy writing is that you do not punch down. You always punch up. The thing is, conservatives are always punching down. And that brings me to number 2. Really important in comedy, subverting expectations. Conservatives, we expect you to punch down. So when you get up on a stage and you call Puerto Rico a floating pile of trash, you subvert zero expectations. 3, lack of self-awareness. You have to be self-aware to be a comedian. That's why you see stand-ups immediately when they're first starting out. They're always making fun of themselves. Really important to have a really strong self-awareness when you're a comedian. Just off the top of my head, it's like when I go to the airport, they're like, sorry, you can only check one bag. I don't know. There's many things you could say to make fun of me. That's a separate thing. And one of the main things that conservatives struggle with when they're doing comedy is they get very, very offended when people don't like their comedy. It's not, I'm not bad at comedy. It's the audience doesn't get me. The audience is too woke. The audience is too politically correct. I grew up in the world of politically correct. The whole 90s was like, oh, they're all politically correct. And guess what? People are still funny. People can be funny. It just takes a little bit more skill. It takes a little bit more craft, and it takes a little bit more work. If we really want to talk about being offended, nobody is more offended. Nobody is more offended than a conservative trying to be funny who's upset that people didn't think they were funny. Punching down, lack of subverting expectations, and then of course zero self-awareness, and then all the problems sort of thread out from there. Is if you can only be funny by punching down, then you were never funny to begin with. That's what it's not the audience, it's you.
When you think about it, so many male conservative comedians are not even funny. Like, their entire joke is making fun of whatever minority it's trending to make fun of right now. For a long time, it was, let's make fun of Hispanic people, right? Because border crossings being super relevant, especially when Trump was talking about building a wall. And then it became trendy to hate on Asian people during the COVID pandemic. And then after that, it sort of switched over to like trans and queer people for some time because, again, the right is really going after trans people. To me, if you can't crack a joke without making fun of a minority group, you're not funny. I mean, quite honestly, that is the lowest hanging fruit because in our society, this is the demographic of people that are already being made fun of on a day-to-day basis. You are just repeating the rhetoric and the harmful conversations that people are having online, just getting up on a stage and saying it and putting your name to it. Like, that's not creative. That's not funny. I'm not even like being a sensitive liberal snowflake. It's just not original. It's not funny. Like, I'm not even sorry. Bye.
I identify as a Chevy Silverado and my pronouns are vroom vroom. Gen Z, more like Gen Lazy. Vegans are coming for your meat. And I don't mean hamburgers. Cancel culture is ruining comedy, you know? I mean, you're telling me the N-word isn't funny? Anyways, if anyone's hiring, if the woke mind virus isn't real, why won't anyone sleep with me? Quid pro Joe Beijing bribing. I cannot stand my wife. Everyone is such a snowflake now. That's why I go on a 500 tweet rant every single day. You're not allowed to be straight anymore. You're not allowed to be white anymore. You're not allowed to be a man anymore. I hate my wife. I've had COVID 30 times and I cannot figure out why. The vaccine will make you gay. Everyone thinks I love Donald Trump, but I'm not a Trump guy, you know? I just agree with everything he's ever said or done or thought. I punched a hole in the drywall the other day. My only friend is Sean Hannity. True story. I was so famous in the 90s.
My neighbor backed over his own dog the other day. He's liberal, so I thought it was funny. Oh, nobody thought, okay, is this mic on? Oh, they're going to cut off food benefits and people are going to starve right before Thanksgiving. Why ain't nobody laughing? I don't understand. This is my best stuff. Okay, a bunch of people got picked up by the police that didn't even do nothing wrong, but they were brown. Okay.
Can't make a joke anymore without a liberal getting offended. Hey, Cletus, have you watched an episode of South Park lately? Or what about the Joke Exchange on Saturday Night Live? Or any mainstream comedian? They get away with a lot. Do you know what the difference is between them and you? They're fucking funny. They don't make those jokes for the sole purpose of saying slurs or perpetuating racist, sexist, bigoted ideals like you do. And you can go ahead and pack fucking sand on this idea that the Democrats are the ones policing what people can and can't say. Newsflash, it's not that big a deal to not call marginalized groups slurs anymore. The rest of us are okay with it. The only political party with an active interest in controlling what people can and can't say is the Republican Party. They're the ones that want to make it so you can't teach certain parts of history because, what a surprise, America doesn't always look that fucking good. They're the ones that want to ban books because a character has 2 moms in it, because their biggest fear is inclusivity. It's not that fucking hard. So the next time you're sitting there wondering why you can't make a racist joke anymore, maybe you should wonder why you fucking want to.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.